Hey, David Duford here at Fixed Income Help, where we help those people on fixed incomes with their insurance questions. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. The purpose and topic for today's video is doing a detailed analysis of AARP's New York life insurance programs. Perhaps you've seen their commercials on the TV. Perhaps you've been buried up to your eyeballs in junk mail from AARP and New York Life about their insurance product. And perhaps you're thinking about buying life insurance and you're thinking about buying it from AARP, but you're wondering how the programs work and what all the details are. If that sounds like you found the right video, because what we're going to be doing throughout this broadcast is going into a detailed analysis of how all of the different life insurance products work, what the pros and cons of them are, and then to give you the fine print, as they say, about some of the details with some of these programs. So that way you can make the determination if working and purchasing one of these types of life insurance plans from AARP is a good idea. And if not, what steps you can take, of course, to have me and my team help you at buylifeinsuranceforburial.com, where we help people like you get life insurance. But that'll come later. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get started by taking you to my desktop and showing you exactly how the AARP New York life insurance products work. Okay, so we are at AARP New York Life's website. And again, what I'm going to do is actually show you on my screen how these plans work. I could verbally tell you how they work, but you know, we're all kind of doubting Thomases after all. And it's good to actually see what the companies claim so you can see it for yourself and decide for yourself if it's a good fit. And just as a reference point, we're on NYLAARP.com/life-insurance if you'd like to follow along at home. So here's how the AARP New York life insurance products work. It's very simple. There are three different types of products. You have the level term life insurance product. Next, you have the permanent life insurance product. Whoops. And then last but not least, the guaranteed acceptance life insurance product. So let's read through how each of these work. First of all, the level term life insurance product, I'll scroll in a little bit so you can see better, offers $10,000 to $100,000 in protection. So the minimum amount you can get for the term product is $10,000, but you can get all the way up to $100,000. The coverage period, protection that can last to age 80, means that the coverage does not last beyond 80 for term insurance. And we'll come back to this because this may be of a concern to you. The rates say lower initial rates that increase over time. So with the term product, you have escalating premiums. And there's no medical exam, meaning there's no cups to pee in or blood to give in order to get one of these plans. So that's term in a nutshell. Again, we'll go back down and kind of look at the pros and cons of this in a minute. But let's proceed to look at the permanent product that AARP New York Life offers. So the permanent life insurance plan offers up to $50,000 in protection that can last your entire life, which means it doesn't cancel as long as you make the premium payments. The rates are guaranteed to never increase for any reason. And just like the term product, there's no medical exam. So all you have to do is just apply, they pull your medical records, and if things check out, you're approved. And last but not least, let's go over to the guaranteed acceptance product to compare and contrast how that works to the other one. So the guaranteed acceptance life insurance product offers up to $25,000 in protection with a limited death benefit for the first 2 years. Again, we'll come back to this and explain what that means. It's very important. With the coverage period, protection that can last your entire life, guaranteed acceptance. Again, they accept or they guarantee that they're going to accept you, which sounds pretty cool, but what's the catch? Again, you see that little asterisk there, so we're going to review what that means too in a minute. Rates never increase for any reason with the guaranteed acceptance product, and just like the rest, no health questions. Really, that's what makes this product unique. There are no health questions, so it doesn't matter how healthy or not you are. There's no questions whatsoever, and includes an extra mortality risk charge. Again, big words that we'll explain in just a minute. Okay, so now that we know just a basic overview of these products and hopefully added some clarity to them, I'm going to go line by line, product by product, and explaining them a little bit further so that you have a better and more clearer understanding about how each of these works. Also, I'm going to, when I can, show you what the fine print on the web page says to help bolster my claims that you may be surprised by about how some of these products work. So we're going to go back to my desktop. We're going to start with the term product, then the permanent life, and then lastly, the guaranteed acceptance product. Okay, so what we're going to do here is basically we're starting back where we originally looked at, and I'm going to click on Get Instant Quote and Apply. And what this is going to do is bring up the page on the screen you see here. I've already pre-filled it out with some information on the screen in order to see what my rates are and to get more information on the fine print. So again, I'm Mickey Mouse, as you may not be aware of. And then I put my information in, and then I'm saying I'm a non-smoker. I am an AARP member. If you say no, you have to pay an additional expense. They say it's a one-time $16 membership fee. That is, the yearly renewal fees will be billed separately, so you have to pay $16 a year on top of the premium, okay? When I click See My Rate, whoops, I live in Hickson, Tennessee. Let me put that in real quick. And then, so now I go See My Rate. It takes a second to load, and here we go. We get to see some options here that are available, different price ranges, the 10, 25, 50, 75, or 100,000, okay? But what I'm most concerned with is what the fine print is going to say. Again, anytime you look at life insurance, ladies and gentlemen, like all this stuff is fancy, pretty, and looks good, but what really matters is what the fine print says. It's like, what does the terms of the contract say, right? It can be made to look good, and arguably this is better than no insurance, but we got to know what the fine print says right before we make a decision. So if we scroll on here to the bottom, current monthly rates for men at the age I said. This is the smoking gun, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and hopefully you guys can read along with me, and hopefully the blue kind of helps here. Let me see if this is good. Okay. So premiums above are the rates New York Life currently charges to people who have not used any forms of tobacco or nicotine in the past 12 months, and that's fine. I said I was a non-smoker. Tobacco and nicotine users will pay a higher rate. That's 100% normal with all companies. Your initial premium is based on your age at issue, so when the plan basically goes into effect and you've made your first premiums, typically what being issued means, that is going to be based on, at that time what your age is what the price is going to be. Now here's the ultimate smoking gun. Again, I'm going to highlight it for you so you see it. Premiums increase as you enter each new 5-year age band and will be based on the current rates at that time. What does that mean? Well, premiums increase. So with the term product, because again, that's what we're looking at, with the term product, you're going to have price increases as you enter the age band essentially every 5 years, okay? So what you're paying today is going to be different than what you're going to pay tomorrow. And it's likely you're going to be in a situation over time, if you keep this plan for the years that you have it, that you will have escalating premium prices. The question I would ask you is, if you're on a fixed income, how do you feel about paying a lot more for your coverage? It is a potential risk with these kind of plans. Continuing, premiums are not guaranteed. So they may change. They will change. However, your rates may change only if they are changed for all others in the same class of insurance. What does that mean is that there's some pre-designed rates that they've come up with as you enter each age band, which is about 70 to 74, and then 75 to 79, I think. So it's basically roughly, maybe give or take a year there. They've already predetermined when you buy the term plan that those are already going to happen at those ages. But if they raise rates, they got to raise it for everybody. So, but it's a risk. It's not guaranteed that what they state is going to be the same rates all the time. What if there's higher lapse rates, or we call people canceling their policies, or really what's the big issue is there's higher death rates and there's more claims and the companies decide to raise rates to compensate. You're potentially at risk based off what they're saying. Granted, they have to raise rates on everybody. Age bands end at age 75 to 79. Coverage ends at age 80. So what this means is that once you hit the age of 80 years old, you lose your coverage. What if you live past 80? You don't have coverage. That's exactly what this plan does. And so what happens here is that, and this is kind of the issue, you've really got two issues here. Number one, your prices go up. You can expect to pay higher as you enter each new age band. And if you pay those premiums all your life and you get to age 80, they cancel you. You don't have your term policy anymore. And that's likely the time of your life where you're most going to need it, right? So therein lies the issue with AARP term life insurance. is that you don't get permanent protection. Of course, AARP does offer permanent protection, both in its permanent life product and its guaranteed acceptance product, and we're going to cover both of those right now so you can look at the other options as maybe being a good choice too. Okay, so I'm back at the same screen we were originally at, and we're going to look at the permanent life insurance details. So you just hit Get Instant Quote and Apply. We get this information here, same as before. Hit See My Rate. We're going to change this, and then you let it load, and now we get to see the price points that are available at that particular age. But again, it's not just about price, it's about what you get for your money. So let's take a further investigation to learn how the permanent product works. Again, we've scrolled down a little bit of the page to look at the fine print. I'm going to zoom in a little so you can see better. Let's read through how it works. Premiums above are the rates New York Life currently charges to people who have not used any forms of tobacco or nicotine in the last 12 months. Tobacco and nicotine users will pay a higher rate. Again, all of this is completely normal and sensible. Premiums above are based on your age at issue and are guaranteed to remain the same for life. So that's cool. So in other words, whatever you pay for when you start a permanent plan with AARP, New York Life product, is going to be locked in for life. Accumulated premiums may exceed the death benefit over a certain period of time. Now, what this means is that you may get to a point where, you know, God bless you if you live this long. You live to your 100, and you took the plan out when you're 60. If you look at the accumulated premiums you paid in, it might be more than the actual amount of coverage. And again, that's not unique to AARP's New York Life's permanent plan. It's actually normal with most of the what we call permanent or whole life products, is there is a risk you may pay more into it than the amount of coverage. But that's actually completely okay, because the purpose of this particular type of plan is to help those out who are financially distressed, perhaps, or would be, if they didn't have coverage in place and believe they should have permanent protection that's not at risk of canceling, like the term products that we looked at earlier, or worse, going up in price. So let's take a look quickly at the application health questions, because this particular plan is going to have health questions. As you'll see with the guaranteed acceptance one, it does not. So you need to consider, okay, if you like this plan, do you actually even qualify for it, okay? So what we do is we just pick one plan. It doesn't really matter. We click it, then click Start My Application. We're then taken to this page as it loads, and you got to answer all three of these questions no in order to be approved, okay? So again, let's look through this, because again, you may be in a position where this plan, even though you like it, you can't qualify for it. But the good news is, we'll talk about at the end, especially with our brokerage that I run, national, we work in all states, we can help pretty much everybody that we talk to. We have the ability to get people coverage where maybe they aren't necessarily accepted, and sometimes even at a better price than what they're showing here. Now, first question, in the past 3 months, have you consulted a medical professional or had treatment, medication, or diagnostic test of any type? So what this is saying is, have you gone to a medical professional or had treatment, medication, or diagnostic tests of any kind? That's pretty broad-based. I mean, if you went to a doctor and you answer no to this, if you answer yes to this, what they're going to see is, what are you taking and what could you possibly be using that could be a knockout? Now, most likely it's going to relate to this stuff that's down here, these issues here. If there's some treatment, and again, I'm not 100% sure, I'm not an AARP New York Life underwriter, but if there's a connection between what you're doing or taking or the doc you're going to, based on question 3, if there's a connection there, that might be an impediment to getting you coverage, okay? So you got to answer that question. Second question is, in the past 2 years, for any condition, have you been admitted to or confined to a hospital, nursing home, extended care, or special treatment facility? So again, just because you're answering a yes based off what they said above, it doesn't mean you're going to get disqualified. But again, there are companies that don't care if you have been in a hospital or a nursing home and you're out, and can still qualify you for quality coverage. So if this becomes an impediment here, know that, like with us at buylifeinsuranceforbarrel.com, we can shop it around and potentially get you a better price and better quality of coverage. Number 3, in the past 2 years, have you had any treatment or medication or been diagnosed by a medical professional as having any of the following: stroke, immune system disorder, liver condition, HIV, AIDS, kidney condition, drug, alcohol abuse, cancer, diabetes requiring insulin, lung condition, heart condition? So if you have these conditions, you might be declined from getting coverage for the first day full coverage permanent life insurance product. So like if you take insulin, you might not be eligible based on what we're seeing. if you've had cancer in the past 2 years, if you've had a lung condition like COPD or asthma, it's not completely clear, you might not get coverage like you think you should, or a heart condition. And the reason I'm pointing this out is because what will happen if you don't get qualified with the permanent life product here, they'll qualify you for what's called the guaranteed acceptance life insurance. And let's go into that because it's very similar to what we've already seen. And again, I'm just going to put up on the screen, same stuff I already had. What happens is with the permanent protection, it's basically the same, some of the same benefits as the ones just mentioned. It never cancels due to age or health. The rates never go up. But what the difference is that with these kind of plans, you're stuck in a situation where you don't have full coverage for natural death for 2 years. So if we scroll on down here, you'll get to see premiums are based on your age above it issued and are guaranteed to remain same for life. Guarantee accept is not available in all states. If we look through this, we'll go ahead and show you where it actually says there's a 2-year waiting period. And it's right here where it says limited benefit period. Full benefits will be paid for accidental death from day one. However, in the first 2 years, death from natural causes will pay a limited benefit of 110% of premiums paid. What this means is that you get your money back, or your beneficiary does. You're dead. You can't take it with you after all, right? So the beneficiary will get it back plus an additional 10%. Once the 2 years are up, then you'll be in a position where you'll be fully protected for if you selected, say, the 10,000 up here. But for those first 2 years, you don't have natural death full protection of the stated face. So let's talk about some conclusions, some summary points to take away from our analysis here. So first of all, the thing I want to make clear is AARP's New York Life plans, they're good insurance. They help people out. They paid a ton of claims. They've done a great job. A fantastic, fine quality company. My critique, my opinion is not based off of anything about AARP as a company, nor New York Life as a life insurance company. My critique is based off of the offerings they give you as potentially not being the most advantageous deal for you. Again, we've seen the term insurance products. If you're concerned about outliving your coverage, then maybe the term insurance isn't the best bet. Yes, it's a cheap price, but you get what you pay for. It's coverage that may not be there when you most need it. Plus, you take on that risk that you might have to pay a higher price as you enter those age bands. And then the permanent life product is very good, but what if your health doesn't qualify for it? Or what if you find that the price point is a little bit high? Maybe another plan or another type would be a good fit for you. And then last but not least, what if your health doesn't fit the permanent life option and you're stuck with only having to get a guaranteed acceptance plan? That's not good either, because based on what you saw on the screen, they force you to wait 2 full years before you're fully protected for natural causes of death with the guaranteed acceptance plan. So what should you do? What are your options beyond New York Life AARP? Well, what I like to recommend to people is to consider working with a broker in the life insurance and burial insurance market. A broker is somebody who shops for you with the most competitively highly ranked companies to find you the best combination of price and coverage. In other words, if you have sometimes conditions that eliminate the opportunity for full coverage from the first day with New York Life AARP, you might be in a position to get first day full coverage from a host of other companies that look on that condition with leniency, not to mention the potential to get a better priced plan. And the thing is, if you're my mom or my dad or somebody that I was close to, my advice to you as an insurance professional since 2011, have been licensed since then, is to always make sure you work with a broker, because working with one company, even if it's a high quality company like New York Life or AARP, doesn't always have the best combination of price or coverage. And you may be in a position where, God forbid, if you died early, you're not protected, or you're going to be ending up in a position as a fixed income person paying more than you have to than you could have with another option that's available. So here's my recommendation. If you like what I've talked about today, if you're concerned and want to get a second opinion, then I'm absolutely happy to help you. And the way to do that is to go to buylifeinsuranceforburial.com. There should be a link in the description box below or in the comments. And if you click on that link, it takes you to my page, and then you can see where you can run your own quotes for the multitude of carriers that we have, or just give us a call at 888-626-0439 and talk to myself or one of my friendly representatives, and they'll be happy to run a quote for you to show you what you can qualify so you can see for yourself and compare which of these plans is going to be best suited for you. So if you'd like to take us up on that opportunity, we'd be absolutely happy to help you out. Simply, again, go to buylifeinsuranceforburial.com or call 888-626-0439 to get one of our friendly staff representatives on the phone to help you out. And I do hope that this examination of the AARP New York Life Plan has been useful for you, and hopefully now you've seen kind of how the fine print works and have more education and clarity so that you can make a good decision on your life insurance needs. And if I can do anything to help you, again, please reach out to me, leave a comment in the box below, or go to buylifeinsuranceforburial.com/contact to send me a message, and I'll be happy to respond back to you. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you.